Good. Thank you. Okay, I'd like to call this August 6, 2024 meeting of the Henderson City County Planning Commission to order. Welcome to everybody. Thank you for coming. We appreciate everybody's help with this. Madam Secretary, please call the roll.
Thank you. David Dixon.
Here.
Kevin Richard.
Here.
Bobby Jarrett.
Here.
Mac Arnold.
Here.
XR Royster.
Here.
Dickie Johnson.
Here.
Gary Gibson.
Here.
Gray Hodge. Stacy Denton.
Here.
Kevin Herron. Frank Boyette.
Here.
Heather Tays.
Do we have a quorum?
We do.
Excellent, thank you. We've got a couple of public hearing items. I'll entertain a motion to go into public hearing.
So moved.
Second. Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor of entering public hearing, say yes.
Yes.
Any opposed? Very good. We're in public hearing. First item of business is the approval of the minutes for the last meeting on July 2nd, 2024. I'll entertain a motion to approve as presented.
So moved. Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion about the minutes? All in favor of approval, say yes.
Yes.
Any opposed? Very good. The minutes are approved. Next item in the public hearing is rezoning 1167 with a revised development plan. Mr. Bishop, I think you're going to lead that one off.
Yes, sir. Mr. Chairman, if it's agreeable to the Planning Commission, the staff would recommend that we hear rezoning 1167 and the Riverview Place, formerly known as the Bourbon Place subdivision and Darrell Cheney Estate subdivision, together. We would need two separate motions because one's a public hearing item associated with the rezoning and the other is a preliminary plat construction drawing, but it's the same project. So we would be referring to them back and forth if the Planning Commission's agreeable with that.
I'm agreeable. Anybody else have a problem with that?
So moved.
A motion and second. Any discussion? All in favor of the agenda being revised in such fashion, say yes.
Yes.
Any opposed? Very good. As you wish, Mr. Bishop.
Thank you. Just to clarify, there's a small typo on the agenda. The agenda says that the area in question is 1.672. The area is actually 1.237. We spoke to Mr. Friday about that after we called it, and our understanding, and I believe Mr. Friday would agree, is that it's okay to proceed because the acreage is less. Is that a fair description? So with that being said, the application is requesting a revision to the development plan that was approved in a 2015 rezoning, which was number 1043. The previous development plan was for the development of 6 one-family residences, and the current proposal is for 4 one-family residences. The applicant is proposing 2 entrances on Merritt Drive. The applicant is proposing a lift station that will serve the proposed structures, along with various stormwater improvements that are shown on the development plan and the construction drawings. The applicant is proposing a proposed sidewalk that would allow access to city-installed crosswalk markings across Merritt Drive. The reasoning behind that is there would be collection points from the new residences that would go across the points where the city wanted for safety or access to the walking trail. In 2014, there was a rezoning called 1032, or under number 1032, which was for the 1.673 acres, which is where the confusion came in. That request was denied, and the request was from R1 to RF2. In 2015, rezoning 1043 rezoned the lots that we will be looking at tonight from R1 to RF4, leaving the portion in the back. Jennifer, you might point out the part that's still R1.
Yeah, it was what so there's parcel lines are easy. But
We're dealing with these 4 lots in purple, correct?
Correct. And those are 4 lots of record. So in theory, the applicant can go get building permits for those now, but they are requesting the public improvements to make those more usable. And they've asked to renumber the lots themselves. With that, I'll do my best to answer any questions. The staff would recommend approval subject to bonding in 2 separate items. Bonding in the amount of $107,480 for sanitary sewer improvements, mainly the lift station that we discussed earlier, and then $10,620 for storm water improvements, which are shown on the drawing itself. I have placed a recommendation for the rezoning in front of you, along with those numbers written out, so you didn't have to remember them or try them. get them from memory, basically. With that, I'll do my best to answer any questions.
So then one question, Brent, is, so the lift station is in the portion that's still zoned R1?
It looks to be right on the property line. Can you see it on the screen?
Okay, so it's actually within the confines of those 4
I
plats?
believe so.
Did you say this was originally 6 lots?
At one point, they had proposed 6. The development plan was for 6 lots. A plat came in later for 4 lots. So there are 4 lots of record there now.
Okay, was the 6 lot plat approved?
There was never, it was not a plat, it was a development plan with rezoning 1043.
Okay. Was it approved?
Yes.
For 6 lots?
Yes, the development plan, but not the plat.
Okay. So we went from 6 lots to 4.
Correct.
Okay. Any other questions for staff? Do we have anyone here tonight that'd like to speak in favor of this rezoning?
Hello.
Very good.
Good evening. My name is Davis Hunter. I represent Dimple Wolf Properties,
Need your name. You got Davis Hunter. Address?
318 2nd Street here in Henderson.
Okay. Do you promise to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I did.
Very good. Please proceed.
Like I said, I represent Dimple Wolf Properties, which is the applicant for this proposal. Mr. Bishop explained everything very well. The development plan submitted in 2015 was in fact approved. That had 6 lots. The revised development plan being submitted now, the only change is gone from 6 lots to 4. So the 4 lots will still comply with the RF4 zoning ordinances, single-family homes. Since the original development plan was approved in 2015, and the only change is 2 less lots now, which means less density, then we believe that the revised development plan should be approved as well for the same reasons that the original one was approved. That's really it. Like I said, Mr. Bishop said everything as well or better as I could. I will say Mr. Ray Nix is here. He's an authorized representative of the company and can answer any questions that the board has.
Okay. Thank you. Commission have any questions for this gentleman? Thank you. Anyone else here this evening like to speak in favor of this proposal? Anyone here this evening that might have?
I just wondered if this is going to have a concern as far as when the construction.
Please come to the podium, ma'am.
Okay.
Thank you. Your name?
Cass McKee, and I'm 1020 Craig Drive, the adjacent property. And
You promise to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
I do.
Very good. Thank you.
So my concern necessarily isn't for or against the project. My concern is for the type of pilings that they're going to put under the house and homes. And I don't know if now is the time to bring that concern forward.
Mr. Chairman, if the applicant is willing to discuss it, I don't see why it's a problem.
Okay, we're talking about the pilings underneath these proposed structures.
If they are going to put pilings under the homes, because I feel like that, my home was built in 1956, and so I have plaster walls and, of course, concrete block structure, substructure.
Ms. McKee, you're referring to the foundation?
Foundation of my home, and then the walls inside are plaster, as I said, it's an older home. So my concern, because I've read and looked up the damage that driving pilings can do to structures that are right near where they're driving the pilings. So that's my main concern, and if they are going to do that, then I feel like I would need to get a structural engineer maybe to come in and assess my foundation, the walls, in case there is damage, and then if so, you know, who would be responsible? Does the developers have insurance that would cover damages to adjacent properties as far as walls and the foundation? That's, you know, a question that I have. Also, if they are going to do that, I would like a reasonable notice of when they're going to do this, so I would have time to find someone to come in and do that. And the soil there is very sandy, and so I feel like that can be another big concern if pilings are going to be driven. And as I said, I am right next door, there's not much space there. The other concern that I have is how obtrusive is the lift station going to be? I think I've understood that it's going to sit below the hill, the wells for it, and I'm not sure. But they will have to have power to it. And so would the power be at the light pole or the power pole that's at the top of the hill right in the corner of 11th and Craig? And the other thing is, what type of lift station? I've kind of read some are wet, some are called something else, but sometimes, if power were to go out and be out for 2 or 3 days, I don't know how big a holding those areas are going to have, but can that cause backflow? I know they have backflow preventers in those pipes, but if it's out, can that cause backflow up into my basement? Because my basement being, of course, at a lower level there, it could do that. And I had just gotten in the mail with my utility bill talking about backflow preventers. And it was saying that the typical cost for those for a homeowner is $100 to $300. And it's to keep the sewer from backing up into your home. And right now, I don't have a secure plug's the only thing I can think of in my basement because I have a dehumidifier draining into that. So in the event that the pumps go out, there's a problem, can that come back up into my basement? So that's a major, concern to me. And if so, again, am I responsible for the cost of that? And also, will there be sounds or noise that you will hear from the pumps as they go off and on? Some of them I see, they have 2 pumps, and so they'll alternate. But again, will the pumps be making a noise that will be heard? And also, in the event that power is out, then sometimes there can be gas smells from that retained sewage in there. And that's just another question. I don't fully understand, what pump station will be, but that's some of the concerns and questions that I have about it. And hope that they can be answered ahead of time, because we will see when you come up 11th Street and turn to go up Craig Drive, if that's all going to be, very visible as you come through there.
Okay, any other questions, ma'am?
And the only other thing, and you all know that, is about the water that stands on Merritt Drive, which I know that's being addressed because I think you just said that would be responsibility of them doing that.
Mr. Chairman, if it's agreeable with the Commission, I'll ask Mr. Calvert from HWU to come up, and I think we can answer questions backwards. Matt can answer stormwater detention and pump stations if you believe.
Thank you.
Matt Calvert with Henderson Water Utility,
There's your address.
1383 Commonwealth Drive.
You promise to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
I do.
You've heard the lady's questions. Can you help us understand?
I
what's
do.
going on
Hopefully I
there?
can answer all your questions. As far as stormwater, you do have valid concerns with flooding in that area. From my experience, I don't think there's been a whole lot of flooding over the years, but there has been recently, more often than recently. I believe from the beginning, those inlets were probably undersized to begin with. Just the open area, the grates were too small to receive all the water that's draining to them. But since the development has started, we required that inserts be put in those catch basins to help catch silt. That has further restricted the water flow in those inlets. Those will be taken out as the project progresses and gets stabilized. And also, as part of this development, what they're proposing to do is they will be installing a new storm pipe coming out of that catch basin with a head wall. The head wall is going to have a lot larger open area. So what they're going to do is grade all of this development and then about an acre and a half of offsite development to this flared-in section to help capture that water, get it in the pipe and across the street. So that should help with
Could you
the
point out
flow.
where you're talking about?
So here's going to be a pipe with a flared-in section.
Okay.
So all this water will drain through that flared-in section, so it won't be going into the streets, and those inlets will not have to capture that water.
Is there a way you can indicate that on some screen that we can see?
Yeah, that's.
Sorry. We'll go back a little. So this pipe here, with the flared-in section, there will be swales that will come around and will direct all that water to that head wall. There will also be a bioretention swale through here that will allow water to infiltrate into the soil, which will also help take care of some of that storm water. So I hope
So it will be a visible pool that holds that back,
there's no visible pool of water.
being down in the ground, a well like that helps move that slope.
As far as the storm water, there's no wells or pumps or anything. There would just be a drainage swale.
Okay, in order to get this on the record, we need you at the microphone, man. Speak again. I'm sorry.
I just asked if there was like a well or something in order for that to catch before it goes in. With hard rains we've been having, if you could see the amount of water that's standing behind the straw bales and things that they have now. I mean, it's a huge amount of water just all over the whole area and behind the bales. And then plus water in front and then the street full. Of course, all of that I know you all will take care of. That's not my concerns, as I said, with the pilings and the effort, but I've noticed all this other.
Yes, ma'am. And there is a good amount of water. I think there's like 7 acres that drains to this. So yeah, that's a valid concern. And with this head wall and 24-inch pipe, that should take care of most of those concerns. As far as the sanitary sewer lift station, it will be a wet well. It'll be underground. It'll have 2 pumps with it. Those pumps should be fairly quiet. They're all underground. What you will see is there will be mechanical and electrical equipment that will be above ground. And also, in case of smells or anything, we are requiring a filter system that will take care of those smells since it's such a small lift station. In the event that power goes out, we do have what's called SCADA system. It makes us aware when it's not running. We have the capability of coming out, putting pumps on there and doing a bypass so that it doesn't back up. If for some reason it ever did back up, it would back up into the 4 homes here. That would be the only ones that it could back up into.
There'll be preventers along the way to come back. Like, would I need to be concerned about putting one of the back preventers in my home that I had just seen in the
No,
utility bill?
ma'am. No, it wouldn't back up in that direction.
Okay. And then how big will the above ground areas be that you will see?
Honestly, I couldn't tell you. I mean, there'll be.
How tall? Are they
It'll
gonna-
probably be about this tall.
Are they going to be below the level, of like now you can see the manhole kind of on top of the hill? Will this be below that level?
This will all be on the bottom of the hill.
Okay.
Yeah, right behind this one.
Is this it right here, the
Yes.
cubic round things?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And they will be right at the property line on their side?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. But they are going to be
And that's all underground, those circles that you're seeing. The only thing that would be up would be metal boxes with electrical equipment.
And then will there also be something next to that utility pole?
They will have to get electricity to it, and I'm not sure exactly how that electricity will be running.
And then the other thing, is the utility going to be underground as far as, are we going to have power poles for lighting? And what else will be for the homes?
That the developer may have to answer
Thank you, sir. Any other questions, any other questions for the
Well,
gentleman?
Mr. So, once the pump station is installed, who's responsible for maintaining the function?
Henderson Water Utility will be responsible.
Good, thank you. Other questions? Very good, thank you, sir. Do we have somebody here that can address the questions concerning pilings and lighting? Name, sir?
Ray Nix, 2319 Sunset Lane.
You promise to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Very good, thank you.
We have a Kentucky licensed structural engineer that has been involved with this project, has reviewed our soil borings and conditions, and will be designing the structural system for the foundations of the house, of which we have looked at several different designs on the piers and pilings for that. And the most unobtrusive as far as vibration, noise, and all that will be for drilled helical steel piers. And that's what we are looking forward to doing. So there should be very little, if any, vibration or noise associated with that operation other than just typical construction noise.
Okay. I think the other question had to do with, sorry, Brian?
Well, Mr. Chairman, Mr. Nix, would you guys mind letting the neighbors know when that's going to happen?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, for sure.
Great, thank you. Good
What,
question.
and this is just idle curiosity on my part, have you all seen any evidence of that salt well that was drilled there back in the 1850s?
No.
Okay.
I'm sure it's down deep, and that's why we're going with deep
Yeah.
helical piers to make sure that we get through that and get to solid ground, so that's part of the design.
I think the other question had to do with lighting.
Oh, power? Yes. So regarding the wet well, it'll have to be serviced, the pump station, I mean, with power, and that will come off of the Craig Drive pole that's on the corner there. They will bring another pole and set it down near the pump station, and that will service power for that. And then we'll go underground in the rear of those lots with pad-mounted transformers for power for each individual lot. So,
Okay, does the commission have any further questions for this gentleman at this point?
I just.
How about, just a second.
Oh,
Do we have any questions for this gentleman at this point?
So, Mr. Nix, if I understand correctly, the only visible power line entering these 4 lots will be for the pump station. Everything else will be
That is correct.
underground and not visible.
that is correct, yes.
Okay, other questions?
So that'll be for electric power as well as our fiber to the home. So,
Okay, good, thank you, sir.
okay.
Ma'am, you have further comment?
Just to reiterate, so there will be very little noise from the pump station, is that,
Yes, ma'am, there should not be.
should not be? Okay, and then the other thing you said, back to the pilings, what kind again did you say that they were? It was kind of quiet.
They're steel helical piles, they're kind of auger shaped and everything. So actually, these are ones that are utilized when homes have settled, and they utilize that process. But in our case, we'll be going much deeper with them.
So it will be a drilling, but it's
Yeah.
not a pounding, it's,
No,
okay. so-
exactly. We looked at that, and that wasn't going to work. It works great in industrial applications, but
Okay.
certainly not in residential areas at all. So,
Okay.
yep,
So there'll be very little from vibration from what you're.
exactly. Yep.
So would you think that there would be a need for me to have someone to come and look at my home as far as
That's your-
plaster walls? I
That's
mean,
your
you don't
prerogative.
feel
I-
like
I
that
wouldn't-
there's.
I wouldn't think so.
You don't, okay.
Ray, what kind of machine do they use to put those pilings in? Is it like a caisson?
A mini track hole, basically.
Okay.
Yeah. And they get down so far, and then they add another
Add
piece
another.
on it and just keep drilling. Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you.
Ray, do you know about how deep it might be?
45-ish, 45 feet roughly,
Okay.
based on the borings that we've done.
Does the commission have any further questions for this gentleman at this point? Very good, thank you, sir.
Okay.
Does anyone here this evening have further questions about this project or concerns, or would like to speak in opposition? Does the commission feel like they have enough information to proceed? Mr. Bishop, do you have a proposed motion and findings of fact?
I do. Would the planning commission like for me to read that into the record?
Are we at a point whether you'd like to do that, folks?
I believe so.
Okay.
Okay.
We should probably make clear, our task tonight is to hold this public hearing and make a recommendation to the city commission on this rezoning, correct?
That is correct.
The city commission then, of course, would then have the prerogative to accept our recommendation or ignore it, or change it. Or they can do what they want to do. They are the final authority.
So we need a separate motion on the preliminary plat.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
We're gonna,
And Commissioner Boyer, if you would, if someone is planning to make an affirmative recommendation on the preliminary plat construction drawings, please remember the bonding that we placed in front of you. Mr. Chairman, would you like me to read that?
one further question. I think I saw a document having to do with sidewalks.
There is a note on the drawing. Jennifer, can you show that? I have to load it on it. It should say so.
I think in our packets, commissioners, you'll find a letter from Mr. Thomas Dimple concerning sidewalks, correct?
Yes, so the applicant is not wanting to install sidewalks the entire length of the project, which would be required by the subdivision regulations. They have proposed that a waiver be granted, but they have also agreed to install sidewalks that I mentioned earlier, the sidewalks that would allow the residents to collect to one point and then walk across Merritt Drive to access the walking trail that the city has purchased. The argument for the waiver are probably twofold. One, the topography of the site, and two, the access to a rather large city-owned walking trail.
That would be considered as part of the second item.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Very good. Let's hear the proposed findings of fact.
Proposed motion and findings of fact for rezoning 1167.
Oh.
Rezoning,
I'm sorry. Ma'am, would you like to
Please, yes,
address the
please.
commission? Sorry.
I'm Debbie Foppel, 1135 North Main Street.
Okay, do you promise to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Go ahead, ma'am.
I'm curious, we were talking about all this out and this, but what about height? I'm concerned because I'm gonna look right over these things, and I wondered how high up we can go.
the height of the structure?
Yes.
Mr. Steve, would you mind answering that, the height restriction of
Because I know, like originally it was, so high, but then you've come in and added dirt, and then now is that changed or what?
Steve, would you mind coming to the mic? Sure.
Name, sir?
Steve Davis,
Address?
1998 Bear Boulevard.
Promise to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Sure do.
Very good. What can you tell us about the height of these proposed structures?
Okay.
Ms. Hoffman, just, Steve's the city code administrator, so he would be in
Oh.
charge of issuing permits.
Okay.
And then monitoring the height, which
Got
is
it.
why we asked him.
So we're looking at 35 feet.
Okay? That's the maximum allowed.
Maximum allowed, yes.
From where, like, I
grade.
could go out there right now, and be like.
Yeah, from where the grass grows
Okay.
up to the top of the structure,
Okay,
to the peak.
okay, so no more land is being, no more fills being placed or anything like that? Are we set as far as now from here it's 35
That would be
feet?
a question.
I think we probably need to hear from the applicant.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Okay, okay, but 35 feet, thank
Yes,
you.
ma'am.
That's all, thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. Can you speak to the height of the proposed structures, sir?
I can for the grade. The grade is set now currently, so that's where it's, would be started from, and we'll follow the zoning requirements for height,
So they will be 35 feet
or less,
or less. Thank you very much.
All right,
but 35 foot is the
this is
maximum.
the
so,
next.
yeah.
Thanks.
Okay, good. Before we got ahead of ourselves there a little bit, who else wants to speak to
All of a
this?
sudden, I was like, wait, oh.
That's good, that's fine. We want to hear from everybody that has a question. Okay, and we're not done with this yet. We're just going to listen to the proposed motion.
Mr. Chairman, okay to proceed?
Yes.
Rezoning 1167 with a revised development plan submitted by Dimple Wolf Properties, LC, for the property located in the city of Henderson on Merritt Drive, being parcel ID number 1-11-2-5.1, containing approximately 1.23 acres. The applicants have submitted a zoning change map amendment to amend the development plan originally approved in 2015 with rezoning 1043. The original development plan was denser and had a different layout than the proposed amended development plan. I move that the Plan Commission recommend that the Henderson Board of Commissioners, the city, approve rezoning application 1167, which seeks to amend the existing 2015 development plan, which proposes a less dense development of 4 single-family homes on Merritt Drive and 1 single-family home on 11th Street. The application also includes a narrative development plan, which gives Plan Commission staff the authority to approve the changes that are less dense than the development plan submitted for the subject properties. And I'll leave the motion open for other members of the Plan Commission to add findings of fact in support of this motion. The application agrees with the future land use map of the adopted comprehensive plan, which shows the subject property developing as a low-density residential development.
What acreage?
1.23. And that is in reference to the typo I mentioned.
Okay. That's the proposed motion in favor, if someone will move,
I'll,
along with the findings of fact.
One question real quick.
Yeah, more discussion.
So the sidewalk discussion is for the next motion, not this motion?
Correct.
Okay.
Sidewalk
Just one thing.
waiver would go with the preliminary plan.
Okay. And this motion deals only with rezoning 1167.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Very good. Commissioner Boyette?
I move that we adopt the proposed motion read by our planning director.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Madam Secretary, please call the roll. Any further discussion by the commission? Sorry, please call the roll.
Thank you. Kevin Richard.
Yes.
Bobby Jarrett.
Yes.
Mac Arnold.
Yes.
XR Royster.
Yes.
Dickie Johnson.
Yes.
Gary Gibson.
Yes.
Stacy Denton.
Yes.
Frank Boyette.
Yes.
Very good, the motion passes. Thank you. We're going to move on. No, wait a minute. We need to leave public hearing. So I need a motion to leave
moved.
public
Second.
hearing. Motion second, any discussion? All in favor of leaving public hearing, say yes.
Yes.
Any opposed? We're out of public hearing. First item on the rest of the agenda is the August finance report. Ms. Marks?
Yes, so that is a typo. We're actually doing the July finance report. We're 1 month into our budget, so we're at 14%. If you guys have any questions, I can try to answer them the best to my abilities. Between us, we can do.
Any questions about the finance report? I'll entertain a motion to approve.
Chairman.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor of approval of the July finance report, say yes.
Yes.
Any opposed? Very good. Finance report has passed. We're on to the second part of the Riverview Place preliminary plat.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, we have asked that the site plan be approved subject to the bonding amounts that I have placed in front of the Plan Commission members, and it would probably be a good idea to reference the sidewalk waiver being approved as part of your motion.
How should we describe that sidewalk waiver
Mr. Chairman,
in a motion? Yes, sir.
I would suggest you call it a partial sidewalk waiver.
Okay. Would that be specific enough in the motion?
And with reference to the plat.
Okay.
The preliminary plat and related construction.
Okay. Good. Does the commission have any questions for staff on this item? Anyone here tonight want to speak to the preliminary plat? We are at a public hearing, but I want folks to have an opportunity. Very good. I'll entertain a motion in regard to the Riverview Place, Burbank Place subdivision, and Darrell Cheney Estate subdivision lots 4 to 5, preliminary plat and construction drawings. We have bonding amounts and partial sidewalk waiver as potential conditions.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion that we approve Riverview Place, FKA Burbank Place subdivision, and Darrell Cheney Estate subdivision lot 5 preliminary plat and construction drawings, and be subject to the bonding that Brian had informed us of, and the temporary or partial sidewalk road.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion by the commission on the motion? Madam Secretary, please call the roll.
Kevin Richard,
Yes.
Bobby Jarrett,
Yes.
Mac Arnold,
Yes.
XR Royster,
Yes.
Dickie Johnson.
Yes.
Gary Gibson.
Yes.
Stacy Denton.
Yes.
Frank Boyette.
Yes.
Very good, the motion passes. Thank you all for your help on this, for all your input, we appreciate it. The next item has to do with the Elevate site plan, and I'm going to step into the hallway and let our esteemed vice chairman handle this.
Mr. Richard, Ms. Marks will be leading.
Okay, please proceed.
The Elevate site plan submitted by Elevate Estates LLC for the property located in the city of Henderson at Old Madisonville Road, being parcel ID number 56-6.14. The applicants are requesting site plan approval to construct apartments. So you all will remember, it's a year ago to the meeting, actually, in August of '23, we approved a rezoning PUD plan for this lot on the screen here. They did subdivide, as you can see, so it's 3 lots here. We're talking about the center lot. Let me click on this so we can zoom in a bit. But the Elevate is requesting site plan approval for 48 apartments, 32 of which will be 1 bedroom and 16 2-bedroom. There's also a community building. Get to the, you can kind of see it, it's a lot, but community building that's going to be 3,727 square feet with the 2 apartment buildings, I believe each being, and they can correct me if I'm wrong, 11,255 square feet, 2-story buildings. The project will be contingent upon bonding. Apologies that I did not type it up and put it in front of you. But we will have sanitary sewer bond in the amount of $90,740. And it will also be contingent upon receiving a copy of the encroachment permit from KYTC, as Old Madisonville Road is a state road. The applicant, their agent, their attorney, all of their people are here, so if you all have any further questions with regards to that, I will set Ms. Wisher up for her next discussion. You will see in front of you, there's a copy of the statement of purpose for the PUD district. I have highlighted on that for you that one of the things with the PUD is that the planning commission, based on the project and the information that you all are given, can make a decision on, can modify the requirements of parking, height, bulk, placement of all kinds of things based on the project. I've highlighted that language there so you guys can see that. So Ms. Wisher would like to speak further in regards to requesting a parking, I don't want to call it a variance, but maybe a waiver to what the required amount, or parking reduction, there we go, to what's required.
So just for clarity, so is that a separate motion item, or does that need to be worked into some motion on the other actions?
The submitted site plan does include the required number of parking that they would need to meet based on the current code and how many apartments and things like that.
No.
So,
She's
oh,
saying
it does
it
not,
does
the site plan has been updated.
The site plan, oh, hi.
Real quick, name,
Julie Wisher,
address.
1713 South Main Street.
Do you swear to tell the truth
I
and
do.
nothing but the truth?
I do.
All right, please proceed.
The current site plan has the parking that we would like, which is 34 parking spaces less than the 2 per dwelling unit requirement for the multifamily
So
code.
Tommy Joe, just real quick, but approving the site plan, the way as presented would be acceptable at that point then.
Yes, I recommend you also point out that it is a parking reduction, that site plan represents a parking reduction that is being approved, should you choose to approve.
Julie,
Do you
they
mean-
also have this in front of
They have
them,
it,
so
okay.
yes.
You have that, the language in front of you for the request, as well as a parking study that was done in 2021. I will just reiterate that what we're doing is brand new to this region. Right now in the state of Kentucky, there are 3 permanent supportive housing communities. 2 are in Louisville, 1 is in Lexington. Nashville just opened their first, and Echo over in Evansville just opened their first. So this is a different type of housing than we're used to. It may look like traditional apartments. The individuals who will reside here will be making between 0 and 30% of the median income, which a single person would be under $10,000. The current and the main individual adult, if it's a family, will have to have a disability that presents a barrier to them living independently. Of the individuals we currently serve through our day training program, we serve 54 individuals. 1 person drives, has a driver's license and has a car. Of the individuals we serve throughout the county with a more diverse array of disabilities through our employment placement program, we serve currently about 40 individuals, and less than 10% of those have a driver's license or own a car. So this is something that we're very aware of, and it's very common for us to be in a place where not that many people are drivers, are eligible to drive or have the affordability for a car and insurance. In response to that, we are planning to put a public bus stop there. Most of our individuals would qualify for paratransit service, which HART provides to individuals with certain disabilities. That offers door-to-door or curb-to-curb service on a scheduled basis. We are also planning on supplementing transportation after hours around what HART provides traditionally and what GRITS provides through the Medicaid program. So we will have other transportation options for the individuals.
Mr. Wisher, I'm really happy to see this.
Thank you.
But I've got a question in
Sure.
regards to what happens to this facility if it don't work out?
Well, it'll have to work out. The funding, well, I don't know if we've met. It will work out. We're required, when we applied, we created a plan for sustainability. The Sanford Center's been here for 57 years, and I know over those past 57 years, there's been talk here or there about the financial stability of the organization. I can tell you, within the past 8 years that I've been there, we've landed the end of our fiscal year in the black for the first time in more than decades, and have even survived COVID trying to drown us again. We have a sustainable fiscal plan to put that together. This is a very purpose-driven project. If you look, our main funding source is Medicaid through reimbursement through the long-term waiver supports. If you look at the legislative budget that was passed this past year, you'll see
a significant expansion of support and supportive services for individuals with disabilities. There's a new test waiver through Medicaid for severe mental illness and substance use disorder, which is classified as a disability. There's an expansion of slots open so that we have the capacity to serve more individuals. Right now, about 0.1% of our population within this county has a long-term support waiver that offers residential or other person-directed services. So there is an expansion coming. We have asked to be the guinea pig with that. So, and we've been the guinea pig in the past with change and evolution to match what our culture demands for individuals with disabilities. So, and we're pretty good at finding resources and asking for resources.
Ms. Wisher, if the Plan Commission were to request it, would you be agreeable to the restriction that if the property is ever sold to another developer or a private
Sure.
apartment, that they would have to come in compliance with the
Sure,
current
sure.
parking regulations?
Yeah, yeah,
I'd be acceptable to that, yes.
okay.
I have another question
Sure.
too. I know we're talking about the parking reduction.
Yeah.
Now, what happens after it's up and running?
Yeah.
And this is called visitability. And
Uh-huh.
you're going to have lots of people over there. Are you going to look at doing a parking overflow somewhere?
Well, this is in the middle of those three lots, and if you look at lot number 3, we're working with a local architect to create a life and work ready learning center. Basically, take our current operation and place it next door. And I will tell you, I don't know what the parking requirements will be for that, but I've already had requests from staff that we increase that tenfold. So I would imagine there will be overflow parking on that lot 3. What we wanted to do with this lot, because most of these individuals will be living on their own for the first time, with supports, it will be staffed 24/7. It's very pedestrian friendly. It also, all the parking places face the apartment building because there are residences across the street. So we want to maintain as much open space there for street safety and that sort of thing. But yes, if parking does become an issue, there is space on the other side of the entrance that we could add parking. And then, of course, we'll have additional parking with the service center next door.
Yep, visitability. It'll become an issue.
Sure.
Sooner rather than later.
Sure, sure.
Mr. Chairman, may I introduce a point of clarification?
Yes, please.
Mr. Bishop asked, his question was, if the planning commission requests, you would agree. Then you said you did agree. Are you agreeing to that condition?
Sure, yes. That if we have to sell the property or use it in a more private pay or not as its intended use, then it would have to comply with traditional multifamily. I mean, that's what you're saying, correct?
It is, but I wanted to clarify.
Sure.
That there was no condition in there.
No,
You are agreeing to that.
right.
Thank
Should
you.
we no longer
Thank you.
have that, yes, we would agree to
Okay,
that.
is there going to need to be some kind of, something in the deed to that?
Not in the deed, but the staff will want
Gotcha.
them to come in and sign.
Okay,
And we could
And that's
also
okay,
do
right?
an LUR, a land use restriction. that
Okay,
is
yeah,
recorded
that would
in the
make
plan.
more
And
sense.
we will
Part of the,
after they.
part of the PUD zoning, you guys will remember, I think we've done a couple of this within the last year. You're required to submit a plan for what you're going to do. That plan does follow the owner. So if for any reason the plan, if it becomes, Jennifer Marks is now the owner of that development, then I would have to come to you all to submit my plan for what I'm going to use that property for. That's a way that we can notify, we know when things are changing, because PUD is so, I don't want to say lax, but it's very, you're able to kind of fluid on what you can do there, but the owner has to be maintained. And even if Ms. Wisher wanted to completely change the plan of what she had for this, they would need to come back through that process.
Ms. Wisher, are you roundabout ready with your design?
That's it. Roundabouts are just like a revolving door, but with cars. It's like a slow NASCAR race. We can do it. We can do it.
All right, well, with that said, any other commissioners, have any questions for the applicant? All right, anyone else here want to speak to this project? All right, seeing none, I guess we have a motion in order. Just a reminder, it needs to be subject to bonding for the sanitary improvements of $90,740, approval of the encroachment permit from KYTC, and just mention that this is, approving this does approve the reduction in parking with this PUD development.
You ready for a motion?
Yes, please.
Okay. Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion that we approve Elevate site plan submitted by Elevate Estates LLC for the property located in Henderson, the city of Henderson on Old Madison Hill Road. PID number 56-6.14. And be subject to the bonding, $90,740, approachment permit from the Kentucky Department of Transportation, and also agreeing to the reduction in parking. I'm not sure exactly what I need to add, granting that, but is that adequate, Counselor?
Yes.
Okay, that's my motion.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any more discussion? If not, let's have a roll call then, please.
Bobby Jarrett.
Yes.
Mac Arnold.
Yes.
XR Royster.
Yes.
Dickie Johnson.
Yes.
Gary Gibson.
Yes.
Stacy Denton.
Yes.
Frank Boyett.
Yes.
All right, motion approved. Somebody want to go get Chairman Dixon, please?
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Let it be known, I'm handing the gavel back to Commissioner Dixon, or Chairman Dixon.
Okay, now we're dealing with the question of Herons Bottled Glass, lots 1 and 2 preliminary plat. Mr. Bishop.
Yes, sir. Herons Bottled Gas Incorporated, lots 1 and 2 preliminary plat, submitted by Herons Bottled Gas Incorporated for the property located in Henderson County on South Green Street, being parcel ID number 46-63. The applicant is requesting preliminary plat approval. The original parcel is roughly 3.58 acres and is zoned heavy industrial. The reason why this is before you is because commercial and industrial subdivisions automatically become major subdivisions and come to full planning commission approval as outlined by the subdivision regulations. There are no new public improvements because the sidewalks, roads, everything is existing. The applicant proposes 2 lots. Lot 1 will be 0.555 acres, and Lot 2 will be 3.02 acres. Structures on Lot 1 are to be removed as per the plat. Staff has received all the necessary approval from the technical advisors and recommends approval.
Does the commission have any questions for staff concerning this plat? Anyone in the audience want to address the commission in regard to this issue? I'll entertain a motion in regard to Herons Bottled Glass, gas.
Mr. Chairman, I offer a motion to approve the preliminary plat submitted by Herons Bottled Gas Incorporated, lots 1 and 2, requesting for the property located in Henderson County at South Green Street, PID number 46-63.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Madam Secretary, please call the roll.
Kevin Richard.
Yes.
Bobby Jarrett.
Yes.
Mac Arnold.
Yes.
XR Royster.
Yeah.
Dickie Johnson.
Yes.
Gary Gibson.
Yes.
Stacy Denton.
Yes.
Frank Boyette.
Yes.
Very good, motion passes. The next item on the agenda is the Alexander Farm Division, lots 9 to 11, preliminary plat. Ms. Marks?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Submitted by Brad Alexander for the property located on Briscoe Benton Road, being parcel ID number 107-54. The applicant is requesting preliminary plat approval. You'll see here outlined the parcel that we are referring to. They will be dividing it up into 3 more lots. Let me put on this so you can see it, but you do also have it in your packet. With the last one, there's not major infrastructure improvements. They will be adding a hydrant. I believe it's up here. I can't see it right off. They have surpassed, obviously, the 5-lot minimum that would make it a minor, which I would like to bring up. I know I had some questions with regards to plats that we do see in the office after going to the training that we had here. So we do have several plats that are submitted into the office. They are just minor subdivisions or consolidation plats, and majority of the time, those are all done in-house based on our subdivision regulations. So the ones that we bring to you all are the majors, like I'm here in Bottle Gas, as well as this one. A major, again, is anything over the 5 lots, or if it has major infrastructure improvements, or if it's zoned highway, commercial, or industrial.
So how does this qualify as a major?
Because we are now on lots 9, 10, and 11. So the parent tract of the original development has been divided. This would, if you do approve this one, this would be the 11th time.
Okay. So we start with the original.
Right. It doesn't follow owner, it follows the original tract based on when the zoning ordinance was put into place.
So we're going to end up with 2 lots on 351 and 1 lot on Briscoe Benton. Commission, have any questions for staff on this?
Well, just to confirm, because I don't see the dimension specifically called out, so you scroll up to the top of the drawing, so the top cap of lot 10 that meets 351, is that meet the minimum road frontage dimension?
It does. Let me pull it over here. We've got, and Cliff is here, he can tell you that.
64.65 feet, and the minimum is 50.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure that.
Okay, good. Any other questions for staff? Anyone here this evening want to speak to this question? If not, I'll entertain a motion in regard to the Alexander Farm Division, lots 9 to 11 preliminary plat.
Mr. Chairman, I'll offer a motion to approve Alexander Farm Division lots 9 through 11 preliminary plat submitted by Brad Alexander for the property located on Briscoe Benton Road, PID number 107-54.
Second.
A motion and a second. Any further discussion? Madam Secretary, please call the roll.
Frank Boyette.
Yes.
Stacy Denton.
Yes.
Gary Gibson.
Yes.
Dickie Johnson.
Yes.
XR Royster.
Yes.
Mac Arnold.
Yes.
Bobby Jarrett.
Yes.
Kevin Richard.
Yes.
Very good. Motion is approved. Moving to administrative business, Mr. Bishop, can you update us on the work concerning I-69 and the comprehensive plan?
Yes, sir. On September 12th, the Planning Commission staff would like to invite you to come to a workshop, at which we will also invite the Board of Commissioners and the Henderson County Fiscal Court at the Planning Commission office. Ms. Amy Williams with TSW Design Group, who we have enlisted to help us with the I-69 update to the comprehensive plan and to incorporate the city's connection road, I believe they call it, which connects Barrett to Highway 60. We would like to look at those concurrently. So if the Planning Commission would be agreeable, we would like to schedule a special call workshop on September 12th at 5 p.m. and we will provide some food to entice you to come.
When you say Barrett to Highway 60, are you talking about Barrett Boulevard?
Yes, sir.
It's called the backage road.
Backage
that the
road.
city.
It's gonna loop around.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
It will connect roughly behind Walmart and behind the Jago subdivision, and then cross-country over to the intersection of 60 and Watson Lane.
What date
Gotcha.
did you say?
September 12th at 5 p.m.
It'll be in town.
This
If that's all right. I mean, I just.
pretty much a discussion meeting, but you
Yeah.
don't take a vote. Okay, and we'll be inviting county and city government leaders as well, and
Yes, sir.
everybody will have a
And,
chance.
with it being a workshop that's advertised, it would be open to the public as well.
Okay, good. Do we need to vote to hold this workshop?
I believe that's appropriate.
It's a very good question. Bobby asked if people could receive training hours for this.
Yes, and that was something I was gonna bring up too. The planning commission can vote to approve that for training hours as well. Typically, TJ, correct me if I'm wrong, we do that at the meeting after the workshop.
Okay. So tonight, we need a motion to actually conduct the meeting.
To schedule a meeting, yes, sir. No, workshop, Mr. Chairman, is probably the best way to use it.
So I'll entertain a motion regarding a proposed planning commission workshop on September 12th, 5 o'clock, concerning I-69 and the comprehensive plan. We have a motion
Second?
and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor of said workshop, say yes.
Yes.
Any opposed? Okay, September 12th, and you'll remind us about this, I hope.
Yes, sir.
Sir?
When you advertise it, it would be good to post that no official business can be conducted.
Okay.
Good point. Thank you. Let's see, the next item on the agenda, the evaluation of the executive director. The commission participated in a written review and just submitted those. The overall result, the average score overall was 92.54 on a 100-point scale, falling within the outstanding range. I want to thank everybody that participated in the review. With that excellent score in mind, I'd like to entertain a motion to grant the executive director the available 2% merit pay increase.
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Madam Secretary, let's call the roll.
Thank you. Frank Boyette.
Yes.
Stacy Ditton.
Yes.
Gary Gibson.
Yes.
Dickie Johnson.
Yes.
XR Royster.
Yes.
Mac Arnold.
Yes.
Bobby Jarrett.
Yes.
Kevin Richard.
Yes.
Very good.
I just wanted to compliment whoever made that comment about need to revisit cross-training and succession plans. I think that's particularly relevant in that we just lost a very critical person in our office.
Commissioner Boyer, Jennifer and I were just talking about that today. Jessa did a really good job of creating manuals for her successor, but I think Jennifer and I will be creating manuals on just about everything. Rezoning applications, deadline dates, street
Great.
construction permits.
Great.
This kind of caught us off guard, and Mr. Chairman, is it okay if I segue?
Yes, by all means.
So obviously, everyone's probably noticed that Jessa's not with us. Jessa has moved to a role in the city. She is currently employed as the deputy clerk with the intention of becoming the city clerk once Marie Collins retires. Left in good standing, no issues from our standpoint. We're happy for Jessa progressing in her career. But that being said, Jennifer and I kind of did a sprint as far as advertising for her replacement. We wanted to make sure that we advertised at least 5 days. We posted it to our Facebook page to seek applicants. We received 3 applications within the allotted time because we were on the clock, and I think we received 3 after the deadline as well. But we both agree that Miss Rhonda Thompson, who's in the audience, Rhonda, would you stand up and come forward, please? Rhonda will be taking Jessa's place, and she starts August 19th. So we kind of know about the cross-training and everything. I have reached out to Buzzy. He has agreed to let Jessa come back and help with training in the meantime. And we have also reached out to Miss Teresa Curtis, who obviously started this domino by retiring. We are working with her. She cannot come back until September 2nd because of her retirement. As needed, we will bring Teresa in to augment the training as well. So not how we would have drawn it up, but we feel like we have a very good candidate, a very good employee moving forward, and we're happy with the hire. So Ms. Rhonda Thompson will be our new employee.
And he is right, Jessica did an excellent job, because I pulled the finance report today based off of her step-by-step tutorials, so
Ms. Thompson, welcome aboard.
thank you very much.
Yes.
Thank you for coming tonight to meet with us. Any other administrative business of any type? Good. Anyone else have any business they'd like to bring forward tonight? If not, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor of adjournment, say yes.
Yes.
Any opposed? Very good, we stand adjourned.